So I finally have time to go through the box of little odds and ends that came with my Nissan Leaf battery that I'm going to be using for my city car and portable welder and all that other kind of little interesting bits. And I discovered something. You know, because it's like, gee, I wonder why a guy has a Nissan Leaf battery for sale. Oh well, I'll buy it. A little convenient, I think. Tesla Motors. That's pretty cool. I put tape over the person's name, over the employee's name, because I think it's cool, but I don't mean to get anybody in trouble. I mean, yeah, I don't want to kill anybody's job. This is pretty cool. Still can't believe that. I feel really bad for ripping off the edges to use the cardboard now, because it's like, oh, I'm never gonna get one of these. It's like this is like a rare find. Wow. So, let's start ripping this out. All these little odds and ends. The biggest things to notice are the main power cables. Isn't it funny to think how these power transmission cables can hold all the energy in the entire car? Like 80 kilowatts. That's just fascinating to me. Maybe I underestimated how much space this takes up. These are just the covers from the balance terminals, because whenever I took the battery apart, I put all the other stuff in here too, so this was less full whenever I got it. Ooh. There's the safety plug. That's a bit dirty. Looks like it's been outside for a little bit. At a junkyard. Dirty side down on the blankets, because I don't care. I think these are the contactors. These make contact. That's pretty sweet. This isn't the part I took off. This should go around the safety plug mechanism. Yeah, like that. Ooh. Oh. I like orange stuff because orange stuff means high amperage. That is cool. There's some nice copper bits to link the batteries together. Ooh, make MasterCard. Piece of Chex Mix. That's my doing. Here's the seal to that, looks like. And whoops. Most of this is just like little odd mounts, and mostly a lot of the bolts that I undid to liberate the cells from the housing. Well now. Actually, I guess these are just bolts. Who cares about those? But this stuff. Ooh, Panasonic. That's got my attention. So let's whittle down from the least interesting stuff to the most interesting stuff. So here we have this. That looks like a balance lead of some sort. Although all the pins are not connected. So that's interesting. Only 13 pins, so that would be, well, 13 pins, I don't know. So that might not be for balancing. Actually, I believe these are just for balancing. That is definitely enough pins for a 300 volt pack. There's a lot of pins there. Oh, interesting. It looks like this one twists in a weird way. Like, I wonder if I got the connector for that. I don't think so, though. Yeah. It'd be nice if I did, though. You know, actually, it wouldn't be able to twist the inside because these are pins. So, obviously, something slots into here, and then it kind of then the outside, like, sleeve pops on. Unless this pops onto... Oh. This probably came through here. Yeah, look at that. Okay. You know, maybe that was for balancing. Oh, okay. So whatever this goes to... That. So this is probably for, like... I don't know, any information that'll leave the battery? Like for the charger or something? I don't know much about the newer stuff, but... For instance, the newest car I really know about how to work on is my 1976 city car, and that's just like 3 relays and a couple switches. But this is... Oh, this is, the BMS, I guess, because there's a lot of pins going into it. So this is probably it's probably the BMS, taking care of balance charging and stuff like that. And so I guess if the BMS is inside the battery, you don't need to have all the connectors coming out. So this is just like some, like, I don't know, like something like to talk to the car so it can display the voltage or something. That's just a rough guess. But yeah, that looks like it fits there, and it even has a little gasket to go around it too. This, darn, I didn't get the plug that went with this, because I believe the Nissan Leaf battery has a plug in the middle. Oh, look at that. It does fit there nicely. That is some quality machining. Look at that. Oh, wow. But yeah, so the Nissan Leaf battery, I believe it has a plug in the middle to where if you take that out, the 2 terminals on the end, which I believe would be connected to this, would no longer be connected. So you can, it was what it was called, a service plug, I believe. So you pop that out and the battery is no longer live at the end. So it's basically just a dead box when you have that plug out. Let's say this. Looks like we have a big ass fuse. 225 amps, 500 volts. That's a pretty robust fuse. It's SOC. I doubt they mean system on a chip. I highly doubt that. Yeah, and of course we have these terminals going to the other parts of the battery. That's so cool. Oh, that's weird. Could that be a current sensor? Oh, that might be a current sensor. Let's wrap it around this. I'll switch over to here so the camera's in the light. That's weird. I would have expected to see a coil. Oh, I'm an idiot. That is the coil, okay. So yeah, it's probably is for current detection. It's just like a single, like, C-shaped piece of metal going around. It blended in, it was kind of hard to see for some reason. Okay. 817A 2353 something something whatever. I wonder if this is like a Hall effect sensor, not a transistor. I don't know. Because this was mounted directly in between that, like the 2 ends of that C-shaped piece of metal. Which looks like it's several sheets of steel. I don't know what the term would be. Laminated? Yeah. Okay, so next up we just have these simple copper conductors. It says up on that one, that's kind of cool. Every single one has a part number and says Nissan on it and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Polypropylene. Looks like there's a ferrite core inside this one. Maybe that's for like voltage spike suppression? I'm not sure. I don't really feel like taking it apart though, because there doesn't look to be much really going on inside here. Just like it looks like there's a ferrite core in there. All this connectors around it is actually pretty cool. Once again, it says up on there. Oh, wow. Looks like I'm gonna have to do some Googling for this one, because this is quite literally just a big black box. Well, very short Googling later, and it turns out this is a battery heater relay. So, if you're in a cold climate and your battery's very cold, you don't want it to be too cold, so you can turn on the heater. It'll turn on like a heating coil for the battery, and it'll warm itself up. Ooh, that looks like a relay to me. Relay with a weird ass fuse in there. That is a weird fuse. Perhaps those little pellets are to help diffuse the heat from the fuse? I don't know. It's pretty cool. Because I would assume after a certain point you probably wouldn't want just to have a filament of metal bursting into flames from overcurrent. You probably want to have like a surrounding area of like just, well, in this case probably sand, just to absorb anything if that thing does catch on fire. You know what I mean? Especially what a fuse does, it catches on fire, but in a contained fashion. So it looks like we have those connectors. Looks like it's a double pole, single throw relay. Oh, it's a Panasonic one too. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's probably some high amperage output for this. Yeah, never mind. It's probably not really huge. It's probably more like maybe like 15 amps at the most. Actually, then again, I guess this is a 300 volt battery. That's, even 10 amps is a whole lot for that. It's like 3 kilowatts. Maybe not more like 2 to 5 amps. But who knows? Unless that means DC 240 amps. I don't know. Well, then again, I guess they wouldn't be a... I mean, there need to be a really thick connector to hold that power, and there's no real big connectors coming out. Just this one, and this looks like it's, oh, I don't know, 16 gauge wire? Just a rough guess. Doesn't seem to have any markings on it. So I'd assume that this is probably more like, you know? I just really don't know. I can just look at the part number if I really need to know the current rating for this. Okay, so the heating element relay, or the heater, battery heater relay, is all back together. I have this and this. I think we've looked at everything else. Let's go with this. You know, I should probably check just to make sure it is the BMS. It's got to be, though. I mean, of all the things in here, this has got to be the BMS. I looked it up and didn't really get far. I found one Russian website that said it is Nissan. Duh. So, yeah. But then I found another website that was down, but unlike the Google search preview that it had saved, like the title and the little clip that it saved, it said something about like Nissan battery control module. So like, yeah, it's the BMS. It's just the, yeah, I mean, if this is not the BMS, then I will be very surprised. Like, what the hell is going on? It's usually the thing with the most thin wires coming out of it is the BMS, because it's just like for just voltage detection, maybe very light amperage, like I don't know, I guess you could say siphoning off of the battery, just to very slowly balance the cells. very repetitive design in here. It's interesting. Huh. I wonder if this is very redundant. I wonder if they might have like redundant systems, so in case one breaks, other ones can pop up. But to be honest, more likely this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 300 divided by 12, that would be what, 25? So this would be for 25 cells each. Does that make sense? So each one of these might be like a 20 or 25 cell BMS in itself, and they're just wired in series to equal like a 300 volts or like a 90 cell pack or something like that. I don't know. Oh, that would be 25. My math's wrong. It's like 1 a.m. So whatever. Calsonic Kensai. That's pretty cool. Just a little bit of look-see inside of it all. Just all close up. But yeah, this is pretty, not much stuff going on in here, you know? Not many capacitors, just looks like 3, 4, 5, just 5 capacitors, so that's good. Because capacitors mean that they'll die after, oh, even like a decade. Still, having those 3 capacitors up there though, well, might have to be replaced after like a decade of use. Who knows? Especially if the battery gets pretty warm during use. Although I don't drive a Nissan Leaf, so I wouldn't know. You see, like this kind of thing is a little too smart for me. I don't think it's not something I could really use. The relays, oh yeah, I can use those for sure. But this is just, it's a little too, I mean, I can already just assume that they probably have some like safety features on here to make it really difficult to like, because you'd have to have a computer to talk to it probably. It probably wouldn't work on its own, and probably only work if it had exactly if it would probably almost only work in a Nissan Leaf, not in a 1976 city car. And so that kind of means it'll just be kind of a cool thing to keep around. Yeah, back together now. And I believe the last thing to talk about is this. Power relays. These are pretty cool. At least I assume these are power relays, because these are pretty chunky. I mean, damn. Yeah, that's got to be a power relay, because that's the same screws that were used for like the power connectors on the battery. Oh, look at that resistor. Holy hell. 40 watt, 30 ohm, micron 2NB. Oh, God, this is heavy. Well, I didn't find anything really about it. But I didn't really look very hard, because it's like, I already know what it is. It's a relay. I mean, that's what it's what it looks like. It's what it probably is. I mean, I don't see it being anything else. It's kind of like the BMS. If it has a bunch of tiny wires coming out of it, it's probably a BMS. If it has like 2 or 4 really chunky wires coming out of it, especially since this system is meant to have like the plug in the middle, so maybe this is on each side of the plug. Actually, that might not be right. Never mind. This might just be both terminals. But still, I don't see it being anything else. Oh, another one of those funky ass fuses. We're like sand-filled ones. I wonder what voltages this runs at. Oh. Totally did not even see that number. I was just... Okay, I was Googling this here. Okay, I'll go Google that now. Well, if you type in that number, or that series of numbers and letters, but if you type in that series of numbers and letters, you find a website that says, like, how to take apart a Nissan Leaf battery. So it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Unfortunately, it didn't really have much real good information, just somebody else speculating about it, speculating the exact same thing, but they speculated that it can take at least 250 amps, and I'd have to agree, 250 amps seems about right. Now these will most likely work on my city car, so that is pretty cool. Looks like they'll even come out easily too. Just, I mean, they're not really hooked into here too bad. I mean, this is a nice little like rack that they're in, but it looks like you can just like pop them out and it comes out. That is awesome. Oh, look at that. That's pretty sweet. Especially the plastic wing nut thing on there so you don't shock yourself. But oh man, look at that. That's so nice. Love that. That is some nice cable management there. Well, this is definitely going to be staying on my bed, because most of this stuff, yeah, it'll go in the box, the cool Tesla Motors box. I can like never throw this away now, because I gotta keep that box. You can always use boxes, especially cool boxes that you randomly find from stuff that you get. But all the other stuff, like the cables and whatnot, will go into the box, but I can pretty much guarantee you this is going to stay out, because it's pretty damn cool. You know, it'll probably just stay like on my bed, right there, because I kind of like to have all the coolest stuff on my bed, just so I can look at it. Well, I really enjoyed doing this, even though it's like 1 a.m. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. See ya!